and welcome. I thought we today would paint some bright sunny sunflowers. So I'm mixing titanium white and ultramarine blue and using a fairly big brush and covering my entire surface with a light ultramarine blue mix. It doesn't have to be perfect, just cover the surface as best you can and make it a nice sort of cheerful blue but not too vibrant at this point. I then mix up some green, not too thick, reasonably thin, and using my wide brush again, I make marks across the top of the paper. Turn the brush around so you make different calligraphic style marks, so it just looks like leaves or bush in the distance. And then underneath, just fill it in with some more green. We're going to paint over most of this, so it doesn't have to be too tidy. It's just get you a background of green and all the way to the bottom so that you can make sure that you've got a whole green field. I then draw in some leaf shapes. They're sort of oval leaf shapes, smaller at the top and larger at the bottom. You could freehand these in if you wish. It just depends on how confident you feel with making leaf shapes. Now I've mixed up a darker green and I'm covering all the leaf shapes in, and I scratch in the veins with the scratchy end of the brush. Sometimes I find it easier to work upside down, but that's up to you. So I then draw in the sunflowers. Now what I'm doing here is large circles with a small circle in the middle. They don't have to be perfect circles. In fact, it's better if they're not. Some are on the sides, so I drew sort of ovally shapes with a little circle in the middle. Now using the titanium white and my pointy brush with some yellow, I'm putting a sort of slightly lighter colour of yellow in, and I use the brush to push from the outside petal towards the inside circle, but you stop at the inside circle. So you just turn the brush around and pick up some more paint. It'll be nice and juicy and thick. Sometimes I find it helps to turn the painting around when I do this, but try and keep the strokes even and into the middle, leaving a gap in between them. Turn your hand around, whatever works for you, but just see if you can get them all coming into the middle like that. Now I've finished my 3 sunflowers, and I'm going to mix up some heavy gel gloss with the yellow, but this time it's full strength. Now the heavy gel gloss looks white, but it's actually will dry transparent. And now I haven't watered the yellow down, I've made it full on strength. This time I'm going to pick it all up with my palette knife if you have such a thing. If you don't have any heavy gel gloss, just use the paint full strength. So you just get a brighter colour coming into the middle like that. Once again, now if you're using a knife or a brush, turn the brush or knife around so that the strokes are coming into the middle. Some burnt sienna, I put the stalks in, just blending them in behind the leaves. Then I paint in darker leaves using a little bit more ultramarine blue mixed with my green. These come in over the top of the others so that it looks like a thick, dense forest of green. They can even come over the stalks or over the flowers if you wish. I also scratch in the stalks with the back of my brush. Now I'm mixing the burnt sienna with some heavy gel gloss so it becomes quite a thick surface. I'm going to put the surface of the sunflowers in and probably do it with a stick because it makes quite sort of textured marks. Just dabbing it down. It will take hours to dry at least with this because it's quite thick. If you haven't got any heavy gel, just use paint straight out of the tube and that should work. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed painting sunflowers with me today. Have a go, do a lot more than I've done and see how you go, and look forward to seeing you again at the next video session.